Alrighty, welcome back everybody. This is now game 2 of Toronto versus CMU. For those who missed it, this is the Dota 2 division of the Collegiate Star League tournament. They are competing for $50,000 finals in Toronto. This is the round of 16. CMU versus University of Toronto. They are not going to have a very far trip if they end up making it. I am Zingle. Joining me is Hachiko. Are you still there right now?
Yep.
All right. So Toronto showing us they had a 12-0 start to this series, or to this season, I should say, before the playoffs, and they're showing us why they had that. They completely destroyed Game One, and I think despite them having the rough. Map control advantage in the early game. It may have just been according to plan, them just understanding at what points of the game they are stronger, and they just, reacted accordingly. They were okay with CMU taking their tier 1s, tier 2s, as long as they got the farm on their heroes that they needed it for.
Alchemist first ban from CMU.
Rightfully so. The hero has, it's an annoying hero that nobody wants to play against. And if the other team uses it and uses it well, it's just not worth letting them have. It introduces a different mechanic of the Dota, of the game, of the meta into the game, and it makes things tough. Makes things tough to deal with.
And so they're gonna get the jug this time around on
Yep.
UFT. Saw it on CMU last game, but picking it very early here.
Yeah. CMU picking the Centaur first pick, and it could just be an easy response to that. We saw Jug get the first blood on Centaur last game, and they're going to probably be along the same lines. U of T thinking, Jug is a good hero. Jug does okay or pretty well against Centaur. I'm surprised they didn't go for the Life Stealer right away on U of T. They used it last game, they used it well last game, and the Life Stealer does well against Centaur, both, at most stages of the game, but also in lane, because you just have the Rage to counter pretty much everything that Centaur can do, and then Feast counters return for the most part and just tears through the high base strength of Centaur. So I'm a little bit surprised that they're changing things up, but maybe they're just looking to, get some variety, show that they aren't one-trick ponies, or to show, CMU used it last game and they're like, you did it wrong, let me show you how it's done.
So they're a fan of Warlock here on the side of CMU. Picking it up second. Gives them a strong lane as well. That Warlock center lane is... put a poor man's shield on Centaur and he runs to your safe lane. It's pretty much his safe lane. That's all I'm going to say.
Yep. The constant heals up for the Warlock just sitting back, and then if you link, if you Fatal Bonds the enemy carry, then he gets double edged down. He just takes double damage from it, and it's not something you wanna tank in lane, especially because the off lane has the shrine to back off to heal up, and the safe lane does not.
And so UFT will ban out the OG this time around. Definitely annoyed the Alchemist in lane a lot. Had a lot of denies, but the OD, he was focusing a bit too much on denying the Alchemist, not on his own farmers. We saw he had pretty mediocre CS in terms of last hits at the 10-minute mark there, and it definitely hurt them because pretty much their laning stage was important. If they're just going to 5-man after the laning stage, they needed to get as much out of it as possible. And because they kind of fell a bit short, both in their jug as well as their OD, it didn't allow them to just snowball to the victory that they wanted after they were just grouping up.
Yeah. I like how CMU is banning the heroes that beat them last game. The Silencer, I think, was a big component of that because their entire draft was so reliant on this team fight, and it looks like it's going to be the same thing now, where they have the Centaur Warlock. Those are great team fighting heroes, and they just don't want U of T Death to be playing that counter-initiating Silencer again.
U of T taking a bit of reserve time
That
for
is
their
most
next man
likely a
here.
safe lane jug, right? Because of the matchup against Centaur. We have seen it in the mid lane a lot, and it's something that we should mention, but I feel like it's almost, it's more likely to be a safe lane hero in this case.
I think it's a safe lane jug here for sure. Picking up the second.
And they ban out Ember. If it was a mid jug, they wouldn't really be afraid of the Ember as much. So banning out the Ember, it hints to the fact that it'll be a one roll.
What is CMU gonna go with here though?
So
Centaur Warlock really opens up your draft. You can really go anything with it. Maybe they get a life stealer themselves. It
we've
wouldn't be
seen
bad
CMU
here.
do some silly shenanigans like a Bloodseeker last pick in their previous casted match, and now that they're knocking on death's door, so to speak, for their tournament, if they lose this game, they are eliminated. So they might try some cheesy last pick strategy that they've been saving. And then the Abaddon band comes out. Finally, we see this band come out. It is a very common pick in NA pro scene and NA pubs, but I guess the rest of the world wasn't the biggest fan of it. It didn't sport the best record at DAC, but considering these are college players, not pro players, the pub meta more reflects what we see here than we do in the pro league. And Abaddon is definitely one of the higher win rate heroes because you have such a forgiving initiation, and it kind of baits the other team into a false sense of, hey, look, we can do a lot of damage to him, or hey, look, we can do a lot of damage to your team, and then it kind of just turns the fight around.
Really big jug coming out. There is a hero that we've seen take over these CSL games, the Timbersaw.
Timbersaw and Lena. I'm a fan of the direction this draft is headed, as opposed to the last one. The heroes might be a little bit annoying to watch in the fights because both of them are very gimmicky. Lena with the new minus 30-second respawn from minute 10 or 15 once you get level 10 on that hero. You're almost never dead because when you die you just spawn in 5 seconds and TP right back in. And then Timbersaw is a very similar way where when in the center of the fights you're just so tanky and so annoying that you're not going to die, and then you get a Bloodstone and you're just going to die and come right back into the fight. So I like this. This draft is going to be a lot more action-packed, I imagine, than the last game was. The last game, the Elk just wanted the AFK farm. The Lifestealer and Slaughter just got a pick off or two and then went back to farming and pushing. This is going to be a bloodbath, I hope.
So that's a no stun offlaner, unless it's mid timber here. Could still be.
I think it's going to be an offlaner. Against Lena, you're not the best mid laner. Yes, you can survive from Lena's right clicks, but the burst magic damage will it'll tear you apart once she gets 6, even if you have your max passive build, because the little bit of regen isn't gonna do enough during the 3 seconds where Lena can output like 1,000 damage.
Yes, they have burst potential on the timber, which is something nice.
They don't have any physical like right clickers so far in CMU, so the Timbersaw pick kind of throws me for a loop. Both Warlock and Centaur just provide incredible amounts of magical burst, and then put that together with Lena and a Fatal Bonds, and I don't know. It's questionable, but maybe they have something in mind that we don't. Earth Spirit being picked up here, that's going to be the roaming 4 roll. That makes me think it's just going to be a 5 roll Warlock. They still might go that dual off lane, like a Warlock Centaur, and just leave a solo safe laner against Timber, like an Ursa last pick for CMU. And I'd imagine that rounds out their draft really nicely. It gives them some nice balance between right click and magic burst, some lane control in all their lanes.
I think Ursa would be a pretty decent pickup for them here. Very good against Jug as well, potentially, because of course, if he gets the ult off, you just ult as well, and you don't take any damage from it.
Wait, what? Say that again?
For the Ursa. With his Enrage, yeah.
80% damage. 80% damage reduction is nothing to laugh at. If you thought Centaur's 40% was a little bit overpowered with your Ags, try killing try killing an Ursa while ulted, and you'll think again.
I've been scaling into the late game, and it's not too bad.
Ursas?
Yeah, just for CMU's overall draft, because I say Ogre is not really.
Ogre is one of those heroes that doesn't do anything past 15 minutes other than amplify your carry, unless somehow you farm enough to get like an Ag Scepter, and then you can do incredible amounts of damage out of nowhere because you have the multicast and multiple stuns back to back.
Unless you're somehow absurdly farm with the Ogre, he just falls off very hard.
That's actually something I'd like to see more, is an Alchemist Ogre. Cause I miss the days of Ogre having an Ags and just solo killing a carry at like minute 40.
Yeah, that was a thing at some point, where people were just playing the Alchemist
all the time.
Ogre Alchemist Abaddon. I remember that was a thing, and then teams started falling back because these other heroes such as Centaur and Magnus went into the meta where they just played for more team fighting, even though they had the instead of just trying to just run down build.
Well, these last picks, Slark being banned out against CMU makes a lot of sense. Slark does well against Juggernaut because you can just kind of evade all the damage from Jug and then turn around on him, and does well against Timber because even though you might not be able to kill him too early, you can just steal all of his stats in the late game and end up stealing like 30 Essence Shift before he goes down. And then the Tinker ban comes out. I was going to say the Tinker ban comes out and it kind of makes sense because right now CMU doesn't really have any push. And then having the Terrorblade picked up as CMU's 5th pick just kind of makes that make a lot more sense. You do not like to play against Tinker as a Terrorblade. The March of the Machine makes your life miserable, and then once you get an Ags on Tinker and you just bounce the laser to all the illusions, Terrorblade just... You're useless. You're next to useless.
Timber's very good hero against Terrorblade, though.
Yep. That's, like, yes, in lane at level 1, Terrorblade always does okay because Metamorphosis just does so much damage, but come, you know, minute 5, 10, 15, and Timbersaw has max passive and just jumps at you, Terrorblade gets chunked down very quickly because of low health pool and isn't able to get that return kill on Timber.
I'm expecting CMU to just put a lot of focus on shutting down this Timber. But if they can get Terrorblade farmed, Lena gets farmed as well. I'm actually liking CMU's draft this game a bit more than Toronto.
Is this an mid puck? Or I imagine it's a mid puck offlane Timber because Timber does well against Terrorblade, but we have seen puck picked as a offlane hero. Almost
if I was Toronto, I'd actually send
Pro-Scene.
Timber mid. If Timber gets a good game, he does well against most of these heroes, except for the Lena and the Earth Spirit. Sending that puck to the offlane, having him get some levels, definitely going to be preferred because I think
Also-
puck can get roamed on okay. If he misses a couple of his phase shifts, gets hit by the Dragon Slaves, he's a pretty low HP hero.
Also, they could put Timber against the Centaur 1v1 and then just go aggro. It looks like that's not going to happen, though. They're going to send out normal
Centaur are
lanes.
going to go offlane, yep.
Yeah. But Timber does very well against Centaur 1v1, and then their aggro lane with a Jug, Rubik, and Ogre would be very strong against Terrorblade. So that could have been potentially a very good play there from Toronto, but they're just opting to play it normal. And then let's do some quick intros. On the side of CMU on Radiant, we have Blank playing the Roaming Earth Spirit, we have Soul playing the carry Terrorblade, Silence Suzuka on the offlane Centaur, Rox on the support Warlock, and Public Player on the mid Lena. From the side of U of T, we have Death on the support Rubik. They are actually looking to get a first blood here onto Blank. They get the lift off. They don't manage to get that other kill, and Blank rolls away, just barely dodging Death. And Blank says space as he gets away. Back to the intros, though. We have Death on the support Rubik, Ogre Magi being played by Innovation, KY on the carry Juggernaut, FXT on the offlane Timbersaw, and the guy named Venomancer playing Puck. That's going to annoy me all game. I'm going to call him Puck and only Puck because saying hero names as the player name is just distracting. So with this little bit of a skirmish going on, I think...
Yeah, it looks like U of T wanted to invade to go for the rune, but they realized there's a lot of heroes here.
And it looks like this offlane might be happening with Warlock helping out the Centaur. He started up in this top lane, and he might end up rotating bottom just because Timbersaw Timbersaw does so well against Terrorblade. And it looks like, yeah, he's just headed bottom.
U of T might get the courier kill here. Death's in position.
I like the courier. Wow. What is that?
Looks like a dragon.
Oh, Death is right in the right spot, and he's gonna get those 2 easy hits off. That's a huge, that's like almost a 1,000 net worth bump in their favor already. And not only that, this Lena mid is going to not have a lot of fun without her items coming out.
It's also being camped at the moment by the Ogre.
The classic 2v2 mid that we saw last game.
And with the meta you mentioned previously, they're going to be able to zone out the Timber for now.
Yep, but once that runs out, Timbersaw just going to have a nice time.
Oh.
The roll will actually come out. It's going to be a swing and a miss, but FXT is still ticking low, and with that Orb of Venom on him, he needs one more right click from the Soul. And he will get it, but it's not enough, actually. The regen is there from the passive. 5 health! Oh, the first blood happens right before. That was very, very close to surviving on the Timber. He had the 5 stacks of reactive armor up, and he's just gonna TP right back to lane and be able to get XP because the lane is pushing into him. But that's still nice for the Timbersaw, because you know, that first blood won't really matter. It used the Terrorblade's Metamorphosis, and now he has multiple, like, probably 2 to 3 minutes of nice comeback time.
They don't get the pull off in time either, so this is going to be 3 range creeps going to him.
Level 3 potentially from this wave, and if he gets his level 2 in passive, double up his effectiveness of that passive reactive armor, he's no longer going to be, you know, in real death threat from this Timber, or from this Terror.
Looks like Puck is a bit ahead in the mid lane right now.
Yeah, he's low on regen.
Oh, nice stun coming through. Phase shift.
It dodged the first spell, but it didn't dodge the stun from Lina, and then they do manage to get the kill. He will die to the tower still on Blank's Earth Spirit, so he rolls in and gets a nice kill for his mid, but he gets punished for it.
It's just level 1 phase shift to set up that Light Strike array for the Lina.
Something also interesting to note in this top lane, Jug has more denies than he does CS. He has 15 denies, almost perfect deny. And this Centaur is definitely not very happy. He's only level 2, whereas this Timbersaw, who's already died, is level 3.5. Or 3.25. Now, these lanes are very interesting to me how they're going, because it's not quite what I expected out of any of them. I expected Centaur to, you know, have some help in his lane, but then do a lot better.
Trying to go for a kill on bottom lane on the Timber once again.
Top lane
as well as the stun, but looks like Timber's gonna die. Top lane dies as well.
Yep, I caught both kills right at the very end. That last right click barely got him. This Orb of Venom is paying dividends on Earth Spirit. He's slowing Timbersaw enough down, and then without any Timber chain from Timber, I don't know, maybe that's just a little bit too greedy not having that escape.
I mean, he did fairly good of a pass to the Terrorblade with his Whirling Death, but now without Timber Chain, he's gonna go down again to the same Metamorphosis.
That's rough. Right now, Soul is having a dream lane against Timbersaw. This is as best as you could hope against a Timbersaw because the lane matchup is so heavily favored and stacked against you. And now that Terrorblade is almost level 4, you can just back off to the jungle if Timbersaw ever becomes a problem and just... I don't know if you know how the Terrorblade jungling works, but once you get the level 2 in your Conjure Image, you can just flash farm and pretty much take out the entire jungle before they respawn.
I've seen Envy do it, especially if you get the Iron Talon up, you can clear it very quickly.
Iron Talon, optional Basilius, just some clarities here or there to pay off, you know, constant illusion spam, and you just go quick. You just gotta farm quick.
I think Envy even went for the Glove of Haste before the whatever other component of the treads that he wanted, just so that because the attack speed works on the illusions now.
And the minor stat bonus, the 9 agility, is a little bit less in terms of farming speed on the jungler with illusions.
It looks like
at
Soul
least.
will go the same. Glove of Haste first.
The Timber chain is there now, and the swing or the roll in from Earth Spirit is a miss. So finally, Timbersaw gets gone on and escapes with his life. And now with Rubik rotating bottom, they are looking for some sort of return fight, but Timbersaw has to be a little bit careful. Both of these heroes ticking really low, and the last right click from Rubik there will secure the kill on Earth Spirit. Also, very curious skill build from Terrorblade here. He went that 1 point in Q, and the illusion from Timbersaw that right clicks back at him will probably just heal him at the end of the day, considering the reactive armor stacks, rather than do damage.
He has the silence and the stun, but he used the stun now, just level 1. I'm surprised he only went for 1 in stun. Normally you don't see 1-1-1 come out from Earth Spirits, usually 2-1, and then point in silence afterwards, but
nice
kill there onto Rubik.
Maybe that's the reason he's going for the point and Q. Your Metamorphosis does slow down your movement speed a little bit, so he's just trying to balance that out using Reflection, make sure they don't run away from him as easily. And I'm pretty sure that is what killed the Rubik there. He didn't manage to get away, and that last right click was pretty much at max attack range.
Omni Slash on the top lane. Jug gonna get the kill there onto Centaur.
And nice play using the wand to get enough mana there. He had a 300 mana pool, and the 2 spells together cost 300, so he had to top off right before. Another gank mid by this Earth Spirit, but this time he's going to have a swing and a miss. He's going to have his roll blocked away by this Puck as well. And this solid play from Puck there. He dodges the roll and then stops, or he dodges the kick and then stops the roll.
They've killed this Timber 3 times, but he's really affected Soul in terms of his farm.
Yep.
If you look at his last hits compared to the Jug, it's about half.
And this is where I was expecting the Timbersaw to, go multiple points, or sorry, the Terror Blade to go multiple points in Conjure Image and just back off to the jungle, because at this point, this Timbersaw with 3 points in passive has pretty much nothing to fear from Terror Blade. And Terror Blade, can't free farm anymore.
And with his level 6 up as well, his zoning Terror Blade from the Crit Wave, he's missing all of this CS.
This is actually a very scary situation. Both of these heroes on the side of CMU are just running laps around their tower, laps around the trees, trying to get away. Looks like Rox will be the first one to go down here with that gank from Death, just getting that extra damage from the zap. And now Soul, he can't stay to farm this wave anymore. It's a triple wave pushing into his tower, and he wants to get the XP from it, but he just can't stick around.
That's a very big deal here for UFT. And in the top lane, they get another kill there onto Centaur.
I didn't even notice that one.
So far behind. He has his Iron Talon, not level 6 yet. Doesn't even have boots.
So at this point, I would like to see the Terror Blade just go to the jungle, because you can get a lot of farm out of the jungle, whereas you can't really from this lane anymore. With his skill build, though, that's not really possible, so maybe if he just goes top, helps out that Centaur. Juggernaut isn't particularly tanky in the early game, especially to those right clicks from Terrorblade, or Timbersaw, sorry. Terrorblade, no, I was right the first time. Oh, words are too hard.
Dream Coil gonna be used onto Blank in the top run, and he's gonna go down solo to Venomancer, or Puck.
Yeah. The Puck with the DD rune is really nice. Speaking of this right-click damage from Veno, what do you go at level 15? Because I've seen a lot of Pucks go for the 50 base damage and then just right-click people down, and everyone is, it's always deceptive how much physical damage comes out of this hero.
I think 50 damage is pretty solid on any hero, except for maybe like Crystal Maiden.
Top lane, another Juggernaut ult. It's a secured kill on Centaur. Meanwhile, in this bottom shrine area, they are going for a kill on Blank, but now Venomancer
player.
He gets rooted up by the neutral creep. He's gonna buy back and try to come back in the fight.
Back and jaunted in.
Yeah, it's a very solid play here. Now Soul is looking for a little bit more. He does get the right-click kill onto. Actually, was he the one that killed? No, he wasn't the one. The Laguna Blade was used, so he is there just to kind of help out, but he was not able to get a kill. Now he is ticking very low. He is like 1 XP away from level 6, and he gets Timber Chained and killed before he can do that. And Centaur also only being level 5 here really hurts this fight. If they had the Stampede to get in or out there, that would have gone very well for him. But with Puck's buyback coming in, with the Terror Blade going down, that is a solid team fight win for the side of Toronto.
Okay, so Timbersaw kill him 3 times, he doesn't care, and now he's pretty scary at this point in time with the max passive. And the only hero that can really burst him is Lena, and she's kind of behind here as well.
I'd say the biggest problem right now facing CMU is this Juggernaut top lane. Not only did he have free farm, he is 4-0 against this Timbersaw, or this Centaur. I have just butchered every single name I'm trying to say right now. This Jug is doing very well against the Centaur, and now he's just gonna go and jungle up. He has a Yasha at minute 10, and his net worth is 2,000 ahead, second place net worth in the game.
Centaur's still not level 6. And when your offlaner is not level 6 past 10 minutes, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, he just picks it up now, but it is way too late for comfort. And if you compare that to the Timbersaw, who is level 8 and has 5 kills or assists to his name, who has been being very active, compare that with Centaur's 0, 5, and 0, and barely level 6, it is definitely looking tough for CMU now. They will gank as 5 heroes top using the Stampede to get the kill on the Ogre. And the fact that only Ogre dies here is going to be incredibly good for Toronto. Because, once again, it happened last game as well, they're just playing the map very nicely. They have Timbersaw pressuring and forcing this reaction tier 2 bottom. And 5 heroes rotating just for an ogre kill, who is the, I guess, second from bottom net worth on that team. It's pretty safe. Sunder will come out bottom, but I think the FXC actually probably could have turned around and killed Terrorblade even still. Having the Sunder on such a high regen hero, it'll just equal out within a few seconds.
Yeah, I think if he just turned around Timber Chain, Terrorblade would have been dead. Does pure damage.
So what are the timings for this U of T team right now? They have a pretty nice start to the early game. Their safe laner is far ahead of the pack. The rest of the corps are pretty evenly matched up. And I guess in this bottom lane, Timbersaw does get another kill, so they have map control of this entire enemy jungle, and they have their Juggernaut just free farming away. What's their timing going to be to look to end this game? Oh, and they just get a solo Jug ult. Once again, every time this ult comes off cooldown, Juggernaut gets a kill almost immediately after.
Showing why they second pick this Jug. KY looking very confident on this hero. Getting multiple solo kills this game so far.
Yeah, the Jug is 5-0-0 and has 7,500 net worth at minute 13. The initiation will come out bottom.
Drop to bottom.
Yeah, the stun will miss from the Earth Spirit Star, and the Golem will connect on 2, but the damage might not be there. They have Laguna Blade, and if they get in range, they could kill the Timbersaw here, but they aren't able to connect, and he's just going to walk away with that 20 stacks of reactive and heal right up to full. These stuns are consistently missing from public player. They will get a return kill onto this Centaur, and it looks like there's no fear from the U of T squad here, especially with the ults already being used. The rock dropped by rocks. There's
Innovation gets away as well. Lina didn't want to commit her ultimate for that, and he just walks off.
I guess the only saving grace of that fight is that Soul is farming top, and he is pretty much their key way back into this game, and he's the key factor into the late game for CMU. But when his net worth is behind all 3 cores from Toronto, it's not a easy thing for him to do to carry this game anymore.
I still think CMU have a very solid draft, but just playing this bottom lane, shutting down the Timber, but at some point you have to just let him take over the lane and go elsewhere. Maybe try to gank the puck, because them focusing their attention onto him. Lina gets a solo kill there onto Rubik, but she goes down in return. Back to what I was saying is the fact that they had the Terrorblade lane against the Timber when he couldn't anymore, and he didn't just go jungle, really hurt the Terrorblade. So if you look top lane, the Jug was just farming, getting kills onto Centaur, while Terrorblade was being pretty much pushed further and further behind.
They will use the Lina combo, no ultimate though, and Timbersaw will finally go down to the double edge from Centaur. They lose the tier 2 unfortunately, but they do get that return kill, and it's 600 gold going the way of Centaur. So he's getting a little bit closer to that first core item, whether it's the blink or the hood like we saw last game. But, Juggernaut has not really been participating in these fights. Now he has a full Manta complete, and he has his ult again, so once he just solo kills anybody whenever it's off cooldown. That's his 6th kill. Minute 15, and it's not really the most we've ever seen, but the fact that he's consistently getting kills and he's always by himself, and his net worth is just keeping way ahead. This is the ideal Juggernaut start.
He walks straight onto Soul, forces him out.
The Dream Coil will be there, followed up by the Timbersaw Chakram, and they will just destroy and pop him. They only get 200 gold, which is a pretty good indicator of how this game is going for CMU right now, when your carry only feeds 200 gold on a death. The net worth is almost 10,000 in favor of Toronto. XP is around 6,000, and this is only 16 minutes in, so they're approaching a 700 GPM lead so far. And with this second tier 2 being pressured, the Timbersaw on the front line is most likely not going to die at the start. It's going to be a tough hold for CMU. The Rock and Centaur all do get committed. Nobody is getting very low. All of CMU, or Toronto, sitting healthy up, and the return is coming out. They already get Centaur, they get Warlock. Lena is stunned up under the tower and being chased down by the Timber Saw. But it doesn't look they will be able to get any other kills here. But the fact that they get 2 when they get initiated on by the full team fight combo from CMU, and they can just heal right back up and take the tower once this healing ward is ready in 30 seconds.
Oh, they commit the meta. They want to go back in. Lena spotted under a sentry. She's just going to go down.
If Timbersaw walks too close, he will get just sundered up, but instead he will just go down to the stun and burst from Timber. And that's going to be another 2-for-0 trade. I guess Rubik does go down in the back lines to the Golem, and I assume the chain, whatever it's called, Fatal Box.
Lena!
TP into the shrine.
Shadow Blade,
Shadow.
instant respawn.
And that's the silliness. This is the bloodbath that I was talking about, with Lena almost never being dead. You're just always there to fight and be a nuisance. And with your cooldown on your ultimate being so low, the kill threat is always there.
The thing about this game is, I actually think, even though this game is looking a lot worse for CMU than the last game at this point, they have a better chance of winning it here, in my opinion, than the last game.
I was going to say the opposite. I think they have a worse chance of winning this game right now than they did the last one. The fact that they don't have an Alchemist on Toronto this time, but they still have a similar lead that they did when they had the Alchemist, it tells me that they are much further ahead and much more comfortable in this situation than they were before. Like, if you look at the graph, if you just look at the net worth, individual hero net worths, this, like, looking at the bars themselves, how far ahead this Juggernaut is what you would expect from an Alchemist, being, you know, that far ahead of every other core. And when it's a hero that just scales as hard as Juggernaut does, it's a good situation. And now, once again, ultimate off cooldown, Juggernaut goes in, he has a blink reveal this time, and he just blinks and ults the Centaur. It looks like it will be a Roche attempt rather than a tier 2 push. They're
just working on it for the past minute or so with just Puck.
Yeah, they have Timber to tank it up, and now with Juggernaut finally here, it's going to go down much quicker. And I don't think CMU can contest it. They don't have the Warlock ult. Actually, they have it in 3 seconds, so they will have their teamfight combo, but I don't know if they have the ability to get there, and the wards are up from Toronto scouting out any approach from CMU.
They could try, but they're not going to try at all.
A little bit too late. 19-minute Aegis coming out, so this timing for Toronto, I imagine they're going to take both tier 2s, and if they get another nice fight like they did when pushing that tier 2 mid where they got 3 kills, if they get another situation like that, they could just go high ground and take a set of racks.
They pretty much got to give away all their towers at this point until high ground. And even then, they just have a decent chance of holding. They just have to get a perfect combo as well as a blink onto Centaur. That's what's really hurting them right now. No blink onto Centaur, and overall he's 1-10, having a very bad game.
But the key to this pushes from Toronto is that they have a blink on Juggernaut and on Puck. So if they just jump into the back lines when pushing base and just both instantly ult and use their, you know, burst, if they kill the Warlock at the start of the fight, if they kill the Centaur, if they kill the Terrorblade, there's almost no chance to defend.
Well, there's a chance for them to take a 5v4 fight here.
The Timbersaw will get ulted down by the Terrorblade, but he will just Timber Chain away. No kill is going to come out of it so far, and that is 4 ults committed so far from the side of CMU.
And without a blink onto Centaur, they can't kill anybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. If I didn't look at the Centaur, that's when I said that they had a decent chance of coming back, but seeing that he's this far behind, trying to just get his blink. Because that was a potential 5v4 fight, because Jug was showing bottom, didn't have a TP available, it was in his backpack at that moment. And definitely could have been a pretty decent fight for them there, but the fact that Centaur is so far behind,
his net worth
to feeding the Jug so much,
it's a tough situation to be in for sure. This Centaur is lower net worth than even the supports on the side of Toronto. Yes, it's because towers are down and Roche is down and the courier snipe was there. All these little factors are there, but it's still almost no excuse to be 21 minutes in without a blink. And as you've seen, like all these fights have been very punished because they don't have that, initiation that they need. If they have a blink stun from Centaur,
Rubik's gonna have his blink first, actually.
how close is he? Oh yeah, they're both within 100 gold, but this Rubik is farming faster with that Fade Bolt.
Alright, Blank camping the enemy Bounty Rune bottom lane. Any gold he can get, I guess. Look where he is right now, he's waiting.
Yep.
He's waiting for it.
The thing is, if pretty much anybody on the side of Toronto scouts him out, I don't think he'll be able to escape. I guess Ogre is the only one that he'd be able to escape from. Because he could just TP out after the stun or roll away and then TP. He's playing the bounty rune collecting game. He's not playing Dota right now. He's just waiting, biding his time. Hopefully the Centaur has his blink. The Centaur actually did just get his blink at 22 minutes. So if Toronto gets a little bit hasty, if they push high ground without getting a kill and they get stuck between a rock and a hard place of the Centaur blink in the back lines, they could manage to hold. But it's a tough thing for them to do right now because they need it to go so smoothly. This Centaur needs to get probably a 3-man stun and followed up immediately with a Fatal Bonds and Warlock ultimate and then Alina stun on all 3 or something. Like, these are multiple hero spells that need to be all landed correctly for this to go anywhere in their favor. And now Juggernaut has the defusal as well, so I'm pretty sure whoever he ults will just go down. Maybe if he gets to the Lina can just Shadow Blade away, but she's the only one that could survive it.
We're talking about how Ogre kind of falls off, but at this point he's a beast in this these team fights because of how tanky it is.
He's actually 1,000 away from Greaves.
Yeah, it's mostly because CMU is so underfarmed. You can just run in there, just act as a frontliner for his team.
Mm-hmm. And Bloodlusted Juggernaut, using your ultimate, you are going to get those right clicks off in between your, 275 or 200 whatever damage ult hits. So it just amps up Juggernaut very nicely, more than most heroes. And now the slow siege begins. They understand Aegis is going to expire in about a minute, so they're just slowly poking away at it, trying to force a commitment from CMU on the defense, and then they'll turn it around and get kills where they can. And with this Timbersaw being this tanky, he's just standing up and tanking this tower as if it's nothing. With Juggernaut showing top lane though, this could be an opportunity here for CMU to fight. They do go in with the Metamorphosis, they drop the rock onto 3, they follow it up with the stuns, but they don't have the damage there. The Sunder will manage to get Timbersaw pretty low, but he's just going to regen right back up. The Lina ult goes onto the puck, but is not able to get a kill. The Aegis did expire right now, but now CMU is on the retreat, and this is what I was talking about. If they bait the fight from CMU and then just go in and fight right after, they have nothing to be afraid of. And now all of their heroes are sitting pretty nice and healthy. They get 3 kills in return, and now the base is their goal.
Jug has a DD rune and he's just killing everyone with it.
He was critting for
Ultra
like
kill. God, or is he gonna get a rampage? Give it to him.
Give it to him. Don't kill Blink. Don't kill Blink.
They're actually giving it to him.
Yeah, rampage for KY. What an impressive showing right now. He went top lane, he got the DD, and then he showed up to the fight, and he hit the Warlock for a 670 damage crit or something, and it almost one-shot him, because he's only sitting at, 700 health, or 1,000 health and 3 armor. And now UFTs, they're just poking at the tier 4s right now. They have no fear. CMU is just sitting in base. They're sitting behind the throne, and there's really nowhere for them to go. Looks like Toronto will change focus from the tier 4s right to the tier 3. The Blink Stun will be there, followed up by Lina combo. So, the Jug will get very low, down to 100 health, but he will be able to get away here, and he will have Healing Ward up in a second. Meanwhile, their team is going deep into the backlines. Timbersaw is going to manage to kill Centaur, but the return is maybe there. The Fatal Bonds is up. The Sunder is going to be there as well, so both Timbersaw and Puck are both ticking very low. But it's happened every fight so far. He gets sundered down and then he just regens right back up. This Shrine is keeping them at somewhat of a nice health. They do get a return kill onto both of the supports and to the Puck. But this Timbersaw, I don't think he's going to go down. He's just running around. He's 1v4ing right now. This Jug could come back in now that he's healing warded up, but no. The 1v4 is not enough. So that's actually a pretty nice hold from CMU there. Juggernaut had to back off, and they took that 5v4 just as well as they could have hoped. They did lose mid racks, and they did lose this mid tier 3 now that Jug came back in. But is it enough still? Even after that, it's over 20,000 net worth and almost a 20,000 XP advantage for Toronto.
They need another one of those.
They need another 3 of those. They need another 3 or 4 just to break even, and then more of them to win.
Jug has his Scotty pretty much complete.
Yeah, he's sitting on 5,000 golds. He's flying out the one component that you can't get from the secret shop. He actually might get a solo kill there. No, he did not burn enough mana. Right now, Centaur has none. If he managed to get 1 or 2 more right clicks before the ult came out, that would have just been an easy kill onto the Centaur.
Ogre's casually slamming on the shrine bottom.
He'll take it in a minute. I'll check back on him later. Meanwhile, Jug taking that top shrine, going to the secret shop. He's 170 gold off of this full Scotty. And with that Scotty, I don't think he is in any danger of dying. The only reason he got low and had to back off last fight is because the Lina and Centaur burst together did almost all of his health, and that was at like 1800. Now after this, he's going to be at like 25, 2700. Yeah, 2600. And that also amplifies the healing ward bonus because it's a percentage-based heal. He's no longer has any fear in this game. I guess they always have the Sunder into Lina ult combo, which is pretty nice. At any stage of the game, you can just insta-gib somebody. And CMU might be looking to make something happen here rather than just let Toronto push into the game. They are going for a smoke gank as for a kind of desperation play. It will pop and they won't catch out Death, but Death will go back in aggressively thinking it was a solo Earth Spear and he will get punished for it immediately. Gets comboed down. It is a kill, but once again, just like last game, they use these rotations, these smoke ganks in this late game to try to get something, and they just catch a support. Meanwhile, the cores, Juggernaut is going right for a Roche. Right outside the pit is a double damage rune. And this Juggernaut with the double damage and Aegis, he's just going to walk right into the base and probably kill everybody again.
There's so many GGs in this game. I saw, I think, a DD on Puck twice, and now there's a second one for Jug.
Uh-huh. So, how does CMU do it? Do they just wait in their base, try to get the perfect stun combo, or do they have to make a preemptive play again like they did right there and try to kill, you know, Timbersaw before everyone else is ready? Or Puck before everyone else is ready?
I think Linus needs level 18 for that. Level 3 Laguna. The extra damage is needed, but Jug's just gonna go in and kill him. One-shotting the Warlock.
Oh, and look at this. The Terrorblade tries to man up and fight. He pops his Metamorphosis and his BKB. And he's just almost gets killed immediately.
Look at KY, man.
He's just chopping away.
Ultra kill, Rampage. He's gonna get a multiple Rampage this game. Double Rampage.
Oh, no, it got stolen. Good game, yo, is called from Peter, from Blank, from the side of CMU, and that will be a very convincing. Oh, there's a double
There's
Rampage.
his double Rampage.
So this guy had a full Rampage earlier and a double Rampage now. He
19-0, man.
He just put the team on his back there and did all the heavy lifting. An impressive 2-0 from the side of U of T. Who do you got to give band player of the match to? I know who I'm giving it to.
I mean, I'm gonna give it to KY. That was an impressive carry performance. In
Last game on the
honestly.
Lifestealer as well. Like
Yeah,
this player,
he was very farmed on the Lifestealer.
That's an impressive showing. He had 20k net worth, double the carry of the other team, and more than double for all the other players. The damage output too. He did more damage than this Timbersaw, who was just fighting the entire time. Remember, this Jug was farming for like the first 15 minutes. So I'm impressed. This player definitely put the team on his back there. And they're now qualified for the round of 8. They're one match away from making it to the Toronto finals. Maybe it's just down the street from them. Maybe they will get a little bit of a trip out of it. But it's their home turf, and they're definitely hoping to secure that last one to make it.
But their next opponent, gotta mention, is UBC, who did take out Rutgers 2-1 in a very close series. I know you were watching that one.
And not only did they take out Rutgers, UBC won the entire CSL tournament last year. So they are nothing to laugh at. They have some return players, I believe, and they're showing that they want to make it again.
That's gonna be a match to watch. I wonder if we're gonna end up casting that one or not, but
yeah,
definitely to see those two match up against each other. The two Canadian teams.
Alrighty. Well, there you have it. Very, very good game there from U of T. They are 12 and 0 in the group stage. They did get a bye for the round of 32, so this was their first playoff match, and they are showing they did not lose anything in that little bit of a downtime there. It's just as strong as ever. Uh, we're going to give a quick shout out to our sponsor before we go, but thank you for watching, everybody. I am Zingle. This is Hachiko. Where can we find you? On any social media or anything, or nah?
You can find me at Hachiko Dota on Twitter, and I also have a casting YouTube channel if you want to watch some more casts from me. It's solo casts of most professional games. You can search it up at The Art of Dota on YouTube.
So you can find him there. You can find me at Zingle Dota if you care at all. And follow C Star League on all their social media. And, keep around. Stick around. Thank you for watching, everybody. This is Zingle. This is Hachiko. See you later.
Signing out.
Ugh.